Alright, so this is my attempt at a tutorial video on how I make my rolling trays from start to finish, including designing. So I'm going to be doing two types of trays today. One, I'll be using permanent vinyl, or I'll be using vinyl, and then the other, I'll be using a picture with printable vinyl. And the printable vinyl that I use comes from Hobby Lobby, and the brand is Paper Studio. They usually have it half off. The majority of the time it's half off. And you get 10 sheets to a pack. The vinyl that I'll be using, it's a Cricut brand removable vinyl. And I use removable vinyl because I picked it up by mistake at the store. And since I'm putting epoxy on top of the tray, I can trust that it won't lift up. So I'll be using removable vinyl and also printable vinyl. I'm going to be doing 2 sets. Each set comes with a tray, a jar, ashtray, and lighter. So for the picture trays, and you can see on here, like I basically upload the picture to Cricut. If you need to know how to do anything within Cricut, that's a whole nother level. But as far as designing my tray, I upload my picture. I use this little thing here, and then I unlock the size so that I can make it, because it's going to be a tall tray, or it'll be like this as opposed to being sideways. Then I do the width at 6 and the height is 9. So that's how I get it to be a full bottom size of the tray. As far as the lid for the tray, for the jar, I basically take a circle from the shapes in Design Space. I make it the tops of my jars, I do a 2-inch circle. So you basically can go up here and just type in 2, enter, and it gives you that. And then I put it over the picture and I slice it. So let me just go up and put another copy of the picture in here so that I can show you how I slice mine. But you basically end up with a round image. So I'm gonna make this picture about 3 inches. What happened to the one I uploaded? There it is. And I don't know what's happening with it. Okay. So you have your picture just like this. You take your circle, and I prefer to put my circle on top of it. So I go to Arrange Center Front. And you can make it bigger just to get more of the image. But when you put it on there to size for your tray, for your jar lid, you want to make sure that you do the right measurement. So I'm gonna go right here. I selected the picture and the circle, and I went to slice. So I'm gonna move that, and I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna click right here for the excess, and I'm gonna delete it. And there you have it. So again, my size for my lid, these are the jars that I use from Hobby Lobby. They're your $1.99. Sometimes you can catch them half off, but that's how I do that part. And once I have it sliced, I go up here to my size, and I just type in 2, and I hit enter, and it makes it a 2-inch circle. And as far as the lighter, you can duplicate. So you basically, depending on what type of set you're making, you're going to need about 4 copies of the picture. And so I'm going to hide the one for the tray. this will be the one for the lighter. So again, I go up and I unlock the proportions. And for my lighter measurements, I have it saved right here, 2.7 by 2.89. These are the lighters that I use from Dollar Tree. They are refillable because I don't see a purpose of buying a lighter that isn't refillable, decorating it, putting all that work into it, and then it stops working once it's empty. So I always use refillable lighters, and these come from Dollar Tree. So for my lighter, it's the lighter measurement that was shared in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. It says 2.7 by 2.89. 2.89 is a little bit taller, but I always just go around it and I trim off the excess. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna type 2.7 is actually wider than the lighter when you wrap it around because you still have an overlap, but that's fine. 2.7 as the width, and the height is 2.89, and I hit enter, and I am left with an image that looks like this. So that's our lighter, and then we need the bottom of the ashtray. Oh Lord, I'm just gonna go undo that because I accidentally deleted. What is this little bitty thingy? So for the ashtray, I basically duplicate the picture for the jar lid, and that jar lid was 2 inches. So I duplicate this image by duplicating it over here in Cricut. And for my ashtray, and I just put the picture in the bottom of the ashtray. These are the ashtrays I use from Dollar Tree. I did measure it. You want to measure everything that you use because your measurements may be different than someone else's, and the materials that they use may be slightly different. So I recommend getting a measuring tape like this. I got this from Amazon. I mean, I think they sell some at Dollar Tree too. And I measure everything before I make it. So the measurements that I took for my ashtray, it's 1.5. So the bottom of my ashtray, I unlock it and I type 1.5, enter. And because it's a circle, well, because I unlocked it, so if it's unlocked, then you're gonna have to do it in the width and the height. But because it's a circle, you really don't have to unlock it. But if you do, you could just type it in, 1.5, 1.5. So this is the picture that's gonna go on the tray. This is the lighter. Here's the inside of the jar. I'm sorry, here's the inside of the ashtray, and here's the top of the jar. You go to make it, you print it out, and I let my Cricut cut these out because I don't want any of the white showing. So I will usually let my Cricut just cut it out. Okay, so that's how you design the picture trays. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna hide these because for video purposes, I did already print and cut everything out. Because if it's some stuff that's common sense. Okay, so I did the lighter. I've wrapped it. This is how it ends up looking. Excuse my nails. My goddaughter was over here and I've been just chipping it off while I've been sitting at work. So like I said, it does overlap on the back. So if you make it a little smaller, it may not. So the excess, I just take my scissors and I trim around like that, and then I just tuck this. I really don't epoxy my lighters anymore because the last one I did was this one, and epoxy got in there, and there's nothing you could do with it. So I don't put epoxy on there. I do use the self-laminating paper, laminate adhesive liner, and it is the Duck brand. I got this from Walmart. So I cut a piece of this off and I'll wrap my lighter in that, and I seal my picture that way. You can put epoxy on there. I just recommend, if you do, find some way to hang it so that the epoxy is dripping this way, but you still don't want to cover up the refillable hole. So that's up to you. All right, so when I print out my picture, this is what it looks like. My Cricut has already cut it. So you basically just peel it off and put it on the bottom of the tray. I'll get to that in a moment. But this is the paper. It's Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. It's $9.99 if it's not on sale. If it is on sale, it's like $4.99, and you get like 10 sheets in a bag. These are the leftovers from when I did the lighter, the jar lid, and the ashtray. This jar lid, I did it at 2.5. I noticed it was a little bit too big because that's the exact measurement for the top of the jar. So I went back and I made it 2 inches, and then we'll put that on too in a moment. But the other design that I'm doing today is a tray that I did a while ago for someone. I actually had a lady reach out to me to order the same one. So everything is on, it's a cut file because this is going to be vinyl, and I did group it together. So basically you just type up whatever words you want, and when you group it or attach it, it'll cut out just like this. So the blue will cut out with the flowers in place, and they're all the words the way they are, and then you'll have a separate mat for the pink. So this is the name of this one is called Bloody Stomp, and then I think this is Impact. But I basically put everything that I want on the tray. I designed it the way I want it to look on the tray, and you can do that by just getting a square, and you make your square 9 by 6 because that's the measurements of the trays that I use. Okay, so I got the square from over here. I unlocked the proportions and I made it 9 by 6. So this is how I measure how I want this is how I determine the size of the items that I'm gonna use for my tray. I just put a black, any color square, and unlock it, turn it into a rectangle, make it 9 by 6, and you put your designs on there as you want them. Okay, so for this set, this is what's going on the tray. And then I have a few extra cutouts. I have a few leaves, a few lips that I will be cutting, well, that I did cut out. And then this is what's going on the lighter, because this is the exact set that I made for someone else. Somebody else wants one, so I'm just gonna recreate it. So once I size everything, if I'm using vinyl, my measurements are a little bit different because of the shape of this. But like I said, you just wanna measure what you're using, and then apply the measurements in here. And you can do so by unlocking it up here and typing in exactly what your measurements need to be. For these, I did 1.666 by 1.515. This is going to be for the jar. This is going on the jar. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with the extra leaf yet. This is going on the lighter, and this is probably going to go on the ashtray. All right, so I got everything cut out. I used my Cricut. I put my material on my Cricut, and this is what I was left with. I did weed it already because, I mean, like I say, some stuff, you know, if you're in the business doing this, you should have already done most of the research and learned the basics like weeding and how to design in Cricut. But I know some people did not, so For more detailed Cricut information or how-tos, that will be a separate class, and that would be, and then we can go in more detail. But I didn't want to spend time weeding this out and waiting on Cricut to cut everything out, so I went ahead and did that before I started recording. And this is the design. These extra ones, I don't like the waste vinyl, so when I have it on my Cricut mat, and I can do that on camera, the way I do it is, so first I hide this background because I'm not going to print that out. I just use that there to kind of give me a guide on how big to make my designs. I go to make it. All right, so you see I got this because this is attached and grouped together, because that's how I'm going to put it on the tray exactly. I moved the extras over here into this blank space, and that way when it's cut, I'm not wasting all of this extra vinyl in the middle, so I can cut around the whole thing. And that's exactly what I did with this. So you would go to make it, you would select premium vinyl, and you would cut it out, and you'll be left with this once you weed everything out. So that part is done. I already got my designs done. So now I'm gonna close this. Well, I'm not gonna close it. Well, yeah, I can close it because I already saved it. I'm gonna quit. And we're through with the design portion of the tutorial. Now, because I have limited space to work in, this is I work full-time from home. I also go to school, and I run a business. So, I mean, my space is a little cluttered here, but we're gonna make it work. I stay busy, and I really don't, really haven't had time to do fun crafts where I'm just crafting to be crafting. So I don't really start or make anything unless I get an order for it, and that way I'm not wasting material, and you know, I'm helping a customer. So what I'll start doing is, as I'm getting orders, I'll keep up with them, and I'll try to do videos and tutorials on how I do my crafts. Because everybody does everything different. What you want to do is learn how to do it and then make it your own. So right now I'm just going to clean off my space here, so I can lay a piece of paper down to protect my desk. Because this, as you can see, this desk done had it. It has had it. I'm gonna slide this over. My iPhone doesn't let me pause the video, so you're gonna watch me set up. It's not gonna take that long. I got everything close by, but just let me do this. I like to keep my images close by. I bought a big roll of freezer paper for something I was working on. I was doing bonded fabric. So this is what I use on my desk to protect my workspace. I think I was doing something with bonded fabric, so I needed this freezer paper. All right. I'm gonna grab all of my epoxy. Materials are expensive, y'all, so I try not to waste them. I'll take this little piece of tape I got right here, kind of tape this part down because it keep rolling up and that get on my nerves if it sticks to this desk. Sit that right there to hold that part down. All right, so I got my epoxy here. I have some cups to mix it in. I have my stirrer. I have my epoxy. Oh, and this black set is going to be glitter, so let me get myself there.